Welcome back. Trying to upload as many videos as I can here at 45 News, Utah, Western States Media, WSM 45 News, and others. So let's get into what Nancy Pelosi has made as of looks like June 2022, January 7th, 2022. Nancy Pelosi. This comes to you from the New York Post. Okay, not fake news. You can see it right there. Nancy Pelosi makes millions off tech stocks and scoffs at push to ban congressional trades. Nancy Pelosi and her husband have made, because of we're going to get into the pandemic trade off her stocks. This is huge, guys. Huge. She's made 173 growth of $100 investment in the into Pelosi's portfolio versus S&P 500. She made more than it's just sickening. It's just sickening. Um, it's in the billions and millions, $25 million. Her looks like let's read the story. So Nancy Pelosi is scrambling to squash bipartisan efforts to ban stock trading by congressional lawmakers, even as she and her husband have raked in as much as $30 million from bets on big tech firms Pelosi is responsible for regulating. This is corruption at its highest and biggest the highest level. You can't. These people are the ones that regulate big tech. This is where supply chain shortages, Amazon, different stocks went through the roof. Pandemic broke out, and you can say, well, it's capitalism, it's free market. Those in charge of regulating should never or have any ties. And if they do, it's insider trading like Martha Stewart. They make the rules. This just shows you how corrupt this country is. If you're backing Nancy Pelosi, Democratic Party, and all those Republicans are involved, this is opening the nutshell or opening the egg to see what's inside. And what's inside is they are the people that are responsible to regulate these big corporations from having effects like they have with inflation and mass amount of theft that's been going on through the debt dollar dumps through the pandemic. So this money, this her doing what she does, the laws and stuff that they put in, the Green New Deals, like I said before in my other videos, they are going to make a huge amount of money off the Green New Deal. Their rules and laws they implement, the government, these people are supposed to be in charge of you and me to make life better for us, which they don't, because they're criminals. They shell out money to different directions. They say they're doing this, and then it all goes up to the richies. All of it goes back up to the richies. Oh, $250 per kid. Well, here's massive inflation. Transitory inflation that is not transitory, which is fake news by all media outlets that put out transitory inflation. And now it's hyperinflation. But that's more money for them. It's not money for you unless you're the stock investor that's making that sickening amount of money off of debt dollars that's killing the dollars, causing inflation. They are hurting people. This is hurting every average American. This is hurting people across the globe. The hyperinflation is hurting people all over the globe. This has massive effects on the future of everybody. And these are the people in charge. Nancy Pelosi, $30 million she's made off stock trading. Okay? This just goes to show you guys. This is bad. Let's see. Days later, Pelosi brushed off worries about stock picking by lawmakers, claiming it was part of the free market economy. Are we feeling the free market economy yet? Are you guys just rubbing that in, going to the store, seeing what the free market economy is getting you? When the crooks are in charge, the people that are screaming about racism, they're screaming about diversity, they're screaming about transgenderism, they're screaming that the white man is racist. The racism, all the racism, there's backing riots, backing Antifa. Meanwhile, the more unrest they cause, the more inflation goes up. See how that works? The more distractions they cause, they steal the money through bills, through Ponzi schemes to get their startups going that they've invested in, like Green New Deals and all this other stuff, guys. They're doing this for them. You get that? They're doing this for them. They've caused the largest environmental catastrophe in the West, in rural America, which I can witness every single day. Believe me, I work in that industry. I work in the industry that develops. These people they're causing influxes of people into rural parts of America that is wildlife sanctuaries. Anybody gets that is the people that's been there, the locals. You have an influx of mass amounts of money, mass subdivisions. They're sucking the water dry. Cedar City's going to drain the Wawa Range, which is northwest of Cedar City. They're going to drain the Indian Peaks their water rights out. They're putting a big pipeline to dry up all the wells to kill off all the wildlife. They're going to suck that place dry. That was wild lands, wild, beautiful lands, beautiful, and they're going to just drain the water out of that. This is being caused by hyperinflation and policies put forth by the Democratic Party. They're causing mass exodus out of big cities like California, big tech cities, into these areas that's causing this. Areas being bulldozed everywhere just to put up townhomes, people living side by side next to each other. You know, this is, they're escaping the policies put forth by these people that's causing the issues of environmentalism. It's always reversed with them. It's reverse psychology. This is how they dominate. They're the abusive husband, and we're the abused wives. No offense towards that, but realistically, that's a scenario. They'll give you an idea. The more they do to us, the more strife and pain and division and things they cause around us. I mean, oh, massive this and this, and, you know, the more they divide and fight us, the more mental issues they cause the public, the less unity we have. A united people are unbreakable. Unbreakable. We learned that in Afghanistan. They knew this about Afghanistan. The people are united. You could go in there, you could do what you want. They're going to tell you that they're this. They're warring factions. In the end, they're all fighting you. That's what happens. And if you do, they did sucker some back into it. Look where we're at now. Hand it right back to that. No, never been conquered. Russia's the same way. They're a united people. China's the same way. They're a united people. You can't divide them. You can't put diversity into China. You can't go to even Japan and say, you need diversity in Japan. There's too many Japanese here, ethnic Japanese. See, that's how they do that. They just rip everybody apart. They don't want anybody to unite. People have to understand racism. Racism has no boundaries. No color of skin is racism. It's whatever race they decide to attack in a multi-diverse area. Diverse countries is countries where different ethnicities and religions and ethnicities live together in harmony. That's diversity. These are ethnic blocks acting as one people, coming together. Mexico is a big part of it. South Central America, they're very diverse nations, but they're a very mixed nation. That's what Mexico is in South Central America. A lot of mixing, racial mixing going on there, but they all get together and are united in a sense. Now, Mexico is a disaster. South Central America has their factions, warring factions. The U.S. has been involved in that a lot. You can do your research on that. We have been down there causing fights and internal civil conflicts over the drug epidemic and the drug trade that's coming up in the United States. So that's what the evil that has been perpetrated upon us. It's been exported outside the United States for many years. It's sickening what we've done. And realistically, we kicked out, presidents and dictators of certain countries for our own personal gain. But remember, it's not your gain; it's their gain. This has been going on for years. It's not that the country's bad. Don't get me wrong. They teach in school that the United States is evil, wicked. Look what we've done. But as they're teaching you this, they're doing this, and it's them, and you're not invited. You're not a part of that. None of you are a part of this. The racial division the people that see somebody that's walking down the road, they don't like them because of their ethnicity. That's what keeps the scheme going. If everybody in America stopped and said, you know what, we're not going to fight each other over a city block we don't own. We're not going to go gangbang or thugging down the road because that's just stupidity. Because that's not where you want to be, is in the hood. We change the music. Stop the gangster rap. Get that out of there, because remember, music influences a generation. We learned that in the 60s. It will influence your generation to do what? If it's gangbanging, thugging, pimps and hoes, what's going to happen? It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. I'm listening to classical music driving down the road. I'm going to think more about the proven fact. I'm going to think more about uh, more intellectual than other people will be thinking that time when they're driving their elbow. Yo, I gotta go get my bitches and hoes. That's the key to changing America. To changing the world is the children. If you introduce a music that brings out the artistic ability, the compassion of other people. You don't see gangbangers driving around listening to Bach. You know, really, they show it in the shows and the movies. You know, the sophisticated robbers, listen to that stuff. No, realistically, if you're listening to country music, you're gonna want to be country. If you're listening to rap music, you know, gangster thugging, want to be in the hood, you're gonna want to be in the hood, be a thug. Okay, if you're listening to R&B, I don't know where you're gonna be. I have no idea. If you listen to rock, you're gonna want to be, you know, a rocker. You're gonna be, you know, doing whatever, having a good time. But heavy metal, you're gonna be angry all the time. It's just, it's all, it's how our brain perceives what's being ingested by it. It's being received by it, which affects the stimulation of your body. Just like the war drums, they just sing the war songs. You know, that was about going to war. You hear the drums of war. They're talking about the what's happening in Russia and Ukraine right now. As the U.S. is saying about the drums of war. So that's what's happening here. That's where my take on this whole situation is. Until we change America for the good, until we kick these Democrats and a lot of the Republicans out, just get them out, get them done, get them. They're all corrupt. This right here, $30 million. Nancy Pelosi, insider trading. Basically, they pass the bills, kick them out. Just get them out. Get Pelosi out. She'll probably retire on her own now because she's made a fortune for her people. And I hate saying that, for her group, she's made a fortune, and that's how this rolls. That's how this rolls. They're all in it for themselves. They block bills, pass bills, all for their own personal gain. Or like Pelosi saying, well, it's a free market economy. Free market. Look what they're doing with me. You know, I try to start a news network. I can't even get things posted on social media because of Joe Biden. It's fake news. Fake news is a threat to our democracy. No, they're not going to allow you in. They're not going to allow you to be anything. I'm never going to be nothing. Look at the Joe Rogan. They're attacking him. 5,000 doctors signed a paper saying, let's get Joe Rogan off of Spotify and his whatever he's got his podcast on because he's offensive. It's false misinformation. Really? Who's the judge of that? You guys? So a bunch of people say they agree with it. A bunch of doctors basically say that people that actually know what they're doing, they agree with it. There's a bunch of doctors that say they don't agree with it. What's that called? It's a democracy. It's what freedom is. You don't need the government to tell you what you can think. When Joe Biden comes out and says, we're pressuring social media to stop medical misinformation, that's not their job. That's not their job. If one medical professional comes out and says, hey, this is right, I believe what's being talked about, what's the misinformation? We 60%, is it 51% of the doctors across America or across the world decide what's going to be truth, what's going to be you're going to be able to hear? You know, if the mob rules implemented in social media and in the free press as it is, if the mob rules if it's implemented, CNN is done. They have lost their viewers. You look this up for yourself. CNN is done, over, gone, history. Shut it down. Dinosaur media. They're posting fake news. People have turned away from CNN because why? Because there was a ton of money thrown out during the pandemic. Your tax dollars, by the way, your future dollars was sucked out, still being sucked out, by the way. And they have little cash dumps of bazillions of dollars everywhere. They're still feeding off of. And organizations received a bunch of money from this. Bill Gates' wife, she divorced him and took that money, put it towards other activist groups. These people are being paid to post, to be operatives, to change opinion. And also, you say, you know, during the Trump administration, there was operatives being paid to cause strife across America. There's people that were working for different parties, Democratic Party, to cause strife. They were commenting and threatening and doing all this neat stuff, causing strife. So what the government needs to do is back out of a democracy, or we're a republic, actually, a constitutional republic. But if they want their democracy threat to our democracy, that we're not, in a sense, we are, in a sense, I guess you say, uh, the government has no say. They should not be telling social media what can and can't be posted. That is a violation of freedom of speech by the federal government, which is Nancy Pelosi, Chucky Schumer, which is all the Democrats that are saying you need to shut these people down because they can't speak. We know you've lost freedom when you're not allowed to say certain words because they are against what they call information. Nobody gets to tell you what information is right or wrong. You have the personal obligation to do your own research to see what's factual, because everything's a conspiracy theory until it's proven. It's all facts, possibilities, and probabilities until it's proven factual. Okay, but that's who proves it factual. Well, this study says this. This study says this. They've gotten history wrong. They've gotten so many things wrong. It's sickening. It's sickening. Remember, they thought the world was flat until Christopher Columbus. The world's flat. You're gonna fall off the edge. Well, so was all that prior fake news, 1492. All that's fake news. Everything to do with the world prior to that is labeled fake news because we have the right to tell you what is right, what is wrong, because we decide through our experts what is right and what is wrong. Not that 51% of the experts decided that that's right. Remember, this is all opinion backed, or by a maybe a study they did, a smaller scale study that is not maybe everything. I mean, you have a 99.9% possibility of anything being true. You have I have a 99.9% possibility, or 99.999% possibility, that the Earth is setting in a bowl of soup and we're all just clam chowder. Because the universe is infinite. It is. It's infinite. So the possibility, there could be two bees sitting here and you wouldn't know it because realistically, there's still that possibility. Is that fake? No, it's not fake. Is it possible? Yes. Does it sound stupid? Yeah. Are you going to believe it? No. Because you'd have to be a moron to believe that. But it's still a possibility. That's how that works. You can't break science. You can't fix that science. That's real science. Real science is the universe is infinite. So whatever I say could be a possibility. There's a major eruption in the South Pacific today that caused a tsunami. It hit California, but they got 4-foot waves. Could there be a 90-foot wave behind that? Yes. Because why? Because the possibilities are there. There could be another eruption in anywhere between the next 60 seconds or 1 bazillion seconds where there could be a 9-foot wave wash California off. The coastal beach is just gone. Is that fake? No. Is it possible? Yes. That's how that works. That's how it works. Just so you guys know. That's why when you see this stuff, you see what Nancy Pelosi's doing and everybody else. They don't have the power of the Almighty on their side. They're not the savior that's coming to save all of you. They're not going to come in and rescue everybody and change things for the better. They're going to make things right. They can't tell you what's factual, what really isn't. That's up to you to decide. That's up for you. That's for you to look at and to see and use your own cognitive abilities and your own ability to research to figure out if that's factual or not. The sky is falling. Well, is it? No, but could it be? Yeah. I guess it could be falling a little teeny bit. Well, there we go. Possibility, probability. That's why fact checkers they're actually a offshoot of a political money-making machine. They're the ones that come in and say what you can and can't say. They're the ones that tell you what you can and can't read. They're the ones that decide what is factual, what isn't. They're the ones that tell you what the highest probability is to making what they're determining as a fact is a fact. They're the ones that tell you has the highest probability of that not being a fact, which we just discussed. A fact isn't really a fact. If you really want to get deep into the cognitive depths of reality, the majority of everything you're told is possibly factual at a 99.99999% that it isn't. That it isn't. Because it's just facts. That's facts. Is Nancy Pelosi guilty? Yes. Is there a possibility she's not guilty of insider trading in that sense, where she knew what was going to happen and she invested in it, even though she's in charge of regulating big tech? Yes. No, she might be perfectly innocent. But is that factual? Yes. Is it not factual? Yes. See how that works? Fact checkers, you have no ability to check fact. Fact doesn't exist. It's what you decide, what we decide as the public, humanity. It's not what you decide. You're just another human in a cog that they use for their wealth. And it doesn't matter what position you hold. They use you with that Social Security number on the top of your head to borrow debt dollars against. It was what would have been the Green New Deal, basically. Build Back Better, the Heroes Act. That was all you. That was on your head. That's what you serve. That's the purpose you serve. And then whatever you can post backing their agendas to do whatever they want. That's factual, but it's not factual. But it is. See what I'm saying? You decide. It's like they used to end it. Say, you decide what's factual. Here's the information I have. You decide. That's to all you liberals out there that are calling yourself liberals. That's all you people on the left that's calling yourself lefties. All the people on the right that's calling yourself righties. That's all conservatives, non-conservatives, in-betweens, whatever. It's for you to decide. Everybody needs a leader, right? You want to follow a leader? That's not a leader. That is not a leader. That is a woman that's made over $30 million between her and her husband in stock tradings in big tech that she's supposed to regulate. Scream, holler, burn down a city, right? Why would you do that? For them. It's for them. It's not for you. You didn't gain any rights. You hurt other people. Instead of uniting together like the Yellow Vests do in France, where we stand together as a people and say, no, this ain't happening. This ain't happening. You're not doing what you're doing, guys. You decided to go all militant and burn stuff down and cause strife and attack people for voting for Donald Trump or for going to a Donald Trump rally, when in the end, Nancy Pelosi made $30 million off her stock trading. What did you get? Wake up, people. Wake up. This isn't about you. They're not for you. Wake up. It's time to come back to reality for a little bit. We're talking about a massive debt, hyperinflation, in your face, supply chain shortages all over everything, food costs through the roof. This is what we got. We danced the piper. That was everybody dancing the piper. January 6th, worst day in history. Worst day since Pearl Harbor. Looks exploding news everywhere. Fake news, you gotta be, well, fake news. Don't buck the system. Don't buck the system, because you'll end up in a lot of trouble. They'll censor you. You won't be able to post anything on Facebook. You'll be able to use your Twitter. You'll be banned for everything you do. You'll be banned. You'll kill your avatar. For what reason? What's the reasoning behind this? Exactly what I told you. They decide. They are the ones pressuring social media. They're the ones telling people what to think, what they can see. Much like the government comes out and says 21 years old to use a vape pen or smoke tobacco. 21 years old. When did we need the government to tell us that we can do and can't do something like that? When did we need the government to tell us we're saving it? It's for the children. It's for the youngsters that don't have the ability. Go serve your country at 18. Go to a Middle Eastern war that cost $14 trillion fighting the Al-Qaedas, the Talibanis, ISIS. Go fight, come back to America, and then you can be called something by them. It's never changed. Vietnam, World War II, vets came back. It was best generation. And they came back to have a bunch of kids, and the hippie revolution took over that was about the music. Fight, that Nixon, that Nixon, he took us off the gold standard while all this was going on. They orchestrated the largest Ponzi scheme in U.S. history, world history, to bring in the debt dollar. They took us off the gold standard where they were responsible for the theft that they created. Because gold had to back the dollar. During the Nixon administration, during Vietnam, during all the riots and all the anti-government, the war, and propaganda that was going on, these crooks and criminals, which Biden could pretty much remember, was probably a part of that whole system, were taking the responsibility for taking away the future wealth of the people. We were a powerhouse. We had riches, we had wealth, we had a Federal Reserve, we had a Treasury, and they stole all that. They put us on the oil dollar through Saudi Arabia. Made you buy U.S. dollars, trade for U.S. dollars to buy oil from OPEC and Saudi Arabia. That way they took the dollar away from actually having value and put oil behind it. Now the Green New Deal is another investment scam for these guys. She's probably invested in that too. A lot of people that are associated with this other upper elite echelons that you're not a part of, they invest in the Green New Deal. They're the ones. But see, China just keeps making garbage for people to and pollute the environment, and it's fine. That's how a scam runs. Anyway, this is it for tonight. This is it. I'm going to upload this to YouTube. It's just really tough. So thanks for watching, you guys. Share and like. But there's no division between us, guys. There's none. We all bleed red. What the problem is we have to save the wild countries. We have to save the deer and the elk. We have to save the birds. All the rabbits are dead from hemorrhagic fever. We have to start doing stuff to save our lands that are our wild lands. They don't mean turning from BLM to federal lands. They need to stay public lands, public held, and public trust. Forest Service lands held for the public, managed by the Department of Agriculture, by the way. But we have to make sure that we think about the environment that way. We have to stop the kleptocrats in the big cities that are driving the influx of people into rural America. We have to give the rural American, our next generation, a chance to take part in the American dream. But we have to focus on real environmental issues, not carbons. It's about stopping the developments we got to slow this mass influx of people into rural America. You're killing the wildlife. Cars and people and houses and subdivisions and crawling all over the place. Don't kick people out of the wilds. Preserve the wilds. Buy more lands. Put it aside for big game. Put it aside for hunting and fishing. The activities that are natural, that are a part of our being. Being a part of nature, not against nature. We need to take back the government from this crooked organization called Democrats, Republicans. I'm sorry if you're a Republican, but they're all together. We can't keep looking at those two parties for the right people. It's insanity. They're all part of the good old boys club. Doesn't matter what shade of gray they're under. They're all part of it. We got to stop the insider trading. We got to make sure these people go to serve the people. And that's it. That's it. Not Democrats, Republicans, the people. Take the money out of politics. Stop the lobbying from Big Pharma. Stop insider trading. There has to be some teeth to this. They get caught insider trading with their buddies at Big Pharma or the tech, throw them in prison. They go there to serve the will and the voice of the American people, and that's it. That's it. Hold those responsible and accountable for the largest theft in American history, which has happened during the COVID outbreak due to pandemic bills and Federal Reserve printouts. Stop the Federal Reserve. Stop we are the richest country in the world still. We still are. But we have to unite under one flag. The American flag isn't evil. They're evil. They're evil. They're the ones that orchestrated all the stuff. And I call them evil because they are the kleptocrats at the top. They go to private resorts. They go to private stuff that's not allowed. The public's not allowed. They fear you the most because you're the one that they're stealing the money from. They can't generate their wealth unless they're able to pass bills that steal from us. They influence the politics that generates their wealth for them and their buddies. Stop fighting each other. Russia is not a threat. China just wants to make a ton of money. Everybody's trying to take away the wealth of America, and you're allowing it by being I support the Democrats. You're not. You're dancing the Pied Piper, swaying the symphony of destruction. That's all you're doing. Stop supporting the crooks. If you don't believe me, look at what you're paying for groceries. Look at your fuel bill. Look at your heating bill. This isn't by accident. This has all been for them. I hate to say what else has all been for them. I can't even bring that up. But again, it's not fake news because it's a possibility. But I can't say it because I'll be banned from every platform and never be able to post another thing as long as I live. That's where we're at. Guys, thanks for watching. Please like and share. Help get this channel going. And I shall see you all someday in the spotlight when we actually get to tell these crooks and criminals that they've been voted out, and we have a real representative of the people that's going to our Congress, our Senate, and our House, and our presidency, and all those jobs that are our jobs, our people's jobs. All the minions, kick them out. Then we can actually be a free country. And you'll see poverty and everything else disappear. Thanks for watching.